Hello, welcome to the item box. It's been a while. When's the last video? Last video we made was back in February. Christ.
Yeah. This is back when Knuckles' show was getting showcased, and oh boy, it's have you seen the damn thing at least at this point? Well, I have.
I've already seen episode 1.
Yeah.
It's been out for over a month. I've already seen episode 1.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just say this, just to get it out of the way quickly. I saw it, and I have to admit, I didn't finish watching the damn thing because I just sort of lost the will to live halfway through.
I haven't even finished Sonic Prime. Sonic Prime Season 3 ended months ago.
It did.
I still haven't finished Season 2.
I mean, I'll say this at least.
I don't know why. I don't know why. I think it's because when it comes to specific Sonic media, I can take like comics, movies, and certain shows. But when it's serialized and you have to watch every episode in a row, like watching classic Doctor Who, you look at it like, oh, several seasons. What happened? There's only like 4 episodes per season, but each episode like 6 episodes long.
That's the thing, you look at it, there may be only like, 5 stories, but they're all split into like 4 or 6 parts, depending on which era you're looking at.
Yeah, like the War Games is 10 parts long.
Oh, yeah. God,
is it 10 or 9?
Yeah, it's a 10-parter. It's a 10-parter.
Yeah. So watching a show that's about 28 episodes long, like 22 episodes long, the first episode's 45 minutes, the rest of like half an hour. Yeah, I'm going to lose interest pretty quickly.
I mean, it's weird. I will say this. I'm going to say this. I'll take Prime over the Knuckles show any day of the week because, on the one thing, the characters are at least in there. And also, I think the thing for me, the big thing that really annoyed me about Knuckles was it's just not funny. It really
Episode 1 is good because it felt like an expansion of the movie.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, first of all,
maybe because it was directed by the same freaking guy.
Yeah, no, Jeff Fowler did it, so it's like the one person who actually knows how to make this work did it. But even then, I'm kind of like, there's something off about this and the pacing. And as I said, my biggest problem with that show is like, it feels like half of it's just comedy improv and none of it's funny. Like, it's just nobody sat there thinking, guys, stop, this is just shit.
It's like, apparently there's one episode of Knuckles where it doesn't feature Knuckles.
No, there's one episode that's the quote-unquote musical episode they do, which is kind of like, I wanted to be fair, that was the one I was kind of hoping to like, but even then I was just like, I'm so fucking bored. Oh God, I can't stand this. That was just like I said, that's what, out of every Sonic piece of media out there, and here's a hot take, I think this is officially the worst Sonic television thing out there now. I mean, even worse than Underground. Because the thing with Underground is that it's dumb, it's ridiculous, and by all accounts it shouldn't exist. But you can sort of laugh at it. That's the kind of thing.
It exists in obscurity. This is meant to be the integral between 2 and 3.
I know. I mean, I'll say this. I'm glad that they actually made it at least a show rather than a film. Because if this was in cinemas, I would just fucking storm out, just thinking, no.
I can't wait until the fan edit boils it down to a 2-hour movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Like they did with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Into a film. You could edit this into a movie, but no, I would just lose the will to live. I would dare touch that myself. It'll
be over quicker.
You say that over quicker, but there's a lot of shit you have to cut out, and I do mean a lot of shit.
Yeah. Because I also thinking about Sonic Boom as well. It's just like I can sit down and watch the entirety of Sonic Boom minus maybe 3 episodes of the entire show. Like counterproductive, guilt tripping, and I think the Eggman's Family Vacation.
Oh, really? That one?
Yeah, that really didn't really grip me. Well, yeah.
We've been busy. There have been many.
I have 2 kids, and they're taking up majority of my time.
Excuse,
okay,
it's like you've got a family, I've got a life as well, so that's the reason. But we're back at least for now, and we've got stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Also, during that time as well, I've actually managed to play and finish Penny's Big Breakaway.
Hey.
It's okay.
All right.
It's, what, for a second game, well, the first game for Even Star, and technically the second game in total.
Yeah.
Unless you count the remasters of Sonic, which I don't. Because that was himself rather than a team.
Yeah, then it's a group of people, yeah.
It's okay. It's probably one of the few games you can point to and say, this game uses a yo-yo as an attack.
I mean, this is a game centered around using a yo-yo for everything. So there you go.
It's the only game I can think of using a yo-yo is Star Tropics. That's going way back. Yeah, you have to know What you have to grow up with the NES to know what Star Tropics is.
Well, unless you watch Nitro Run, because he's done a whole video on that, and he's also done a video on Penny's Big Breakaway as well. So there you
It's
go.
a decent game. I got the Switch version, which I've been told is the worst version of the three.
Hmm.
And oh yeah, thank you Microsoft for not telling me the game's only on Xbox Series X only.
We'll
I hate that. It says it's optimized for Series XS. Okay, that's good. I can still play it. It's just optimized. No,
it's just not on there. Yeah,
you need to play it. At least the Tintin game, Cigars of the Pharaoh. There's a new Tintin game, by the way.
Yeah.
That tells you it's not compatible with my system. Penny didn't.
Right. I mean, funny enough, actually, with Penny, I mean, I was hoping it was on PS4 because I thought, surely then when I looked obviously on PS Store and even on the site, it's like, it's not here. What's up, guys?
Yeah, PS5, Series X, and Switch only.
I know.
I guess PC as well. And the Switch version is the worst one. And that's like, how? The game looks pretty good for a Switch game. I fell through the wall a few times.
So is that for the game itself, or you not getting used to how you can do the momentum thing? Because that's what Penny's Big Breakaway is all about. It's all about the momentum, because that's what all Sonic fans love now.
I think it was just one of those things you just kind of get knocked in. Because I actually got clipped into the wall because of the block. So that's the worst I can say. Otherwise, it's just an okay game. It gets quite difficult.
I mean, I'd like to try it out myself. If I think I'm going to get to the point where I probably will have to get another machine, because we are getting to that point where probably PS4 games aren't going to keep coming.
We're up to the 3rd or 4th year now of the next generation of consoles.
Yeah, so I think it will happen, and particularly one game we'll bring up that's definitely going to be a thing. But aside from that, the only thing I've really done is I've been replaying the Shredder 2, 3, and 4, partly for the photo modes, because I just wanted to try those out, having gone ballistic with Frontiers. I thought, like, well, I'll give these games a go, see what I can do, and oh boy.
I've also been playing Balan Wonderworld again.
Oh, all right.
Only because it's like, I haven't finished it, I'm going to finish it. I went to the final boss, and it can kiss my ass.
Okay.
God, I hate the design. I hate the design of the game. Visually, it's fine. Thematically, it's fine. It's the design and the gameplay is just so monotonously boring. Here's an idea. Let's have a platformer where you can't jump, and every button does the same fucking thing.
I mean,
why?
That game's already been ripped to death already, so, what else is new?
The fact that Sonic Colors came out the same year and somehow Sonic Colors was better. Let be acknowledged. Sonic Colors Ultimate came out the same year as Balan Wonderworld, and Sonic Colors Ultimate, which was seen to be a slapdash upgraded part of the game, was better.
It's somehow better as a game, but
Anyway, today we're talking about the recent Summer Games Fest, which apparently cost you need at least $250,000 to showcase your 1-minute teaser trailer.
Yes, saw that. I mean,
what the fuck is up with that?
I know. I mean, I don't know what it was like for E3. I mean, assuming at E3 you would book a place because you would have a place there to show off your stuff.
You would have a fucking stage show.
Yeah, that was the thing.
All the lights, all the multimedia you have to do, having the audience there, have some paid audience members there to cheer for you because things go awry.
I mean, Ubisoft are known for like doing very shitty programs, and it's like, yeah, those guys had to be paid for the shit they had on stage, but that's another thing.
At least they had better than Konami did. Christ Almighty! Yeah, I mean, the horror stories of Konami's E3.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah.
So I guess the Summer Game Fest is the start of what we now call the digital E3. Nintendo technically started it at least back in 2017.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's basically copying Nintendo Direct now, so everyone's trying to do their thing.
Yeah, could it cost less money?
Yeah, apparently they were the first ones to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, but Jeff Keighley still gets to have a stage show for his.
He does.
It's just the same thing anyway.
Yeah, but anyway, the big thing we want to talk about, the game we were all interested, us two at least.
Yeah. Sonic X Shadow Generations, and okay, I still don't like the logo. I really don't.
No, you said before, yeah. I mean, I'm still surprised.
And the name, at least, is gonna trigger a lot of parents.
I mean, the thing for me, I'm surprised. Why wasn't it called Sonic and Shadow Cross Generations? I mean, you can keep the X in there like a cross.
or do what Mario 3D World did and have Sonic Generations and plus Shadow Generations or Shadow Downfall or
I don't know.
Shadow's Doom,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Whatever. It's I'm not.
because it's practically the same thing as 3D World on Switch.
Hmm.
Even though 3D World Bowser's Fury was pretty much the sequel to it,
Sort of, yeah.
But I'll say not only that, it's also thematically the same thing as well because the Bowser's Fury included a lot of gameplay elements and design aspects from Odyssey. Instead of just being a kind of pseudo 2D platform, it was an open world section.
Yeah,
this is exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I'm just saying this very much is Sonic Team doing that, basically.
Yeah, speaking of, we finally, instead of just the teaser trailer we had last time, a showcase, hey, there's Shadow, we got a little bits of here and there of the game. It was like, now we've got full-on gameplay videos with a bit of a story. Black Doom's voice, which straight away is not Sean Shamel.
No, but funny enough, I read on somewhere, apparently he did re-audition for the role, but they just didn't take it.
It was denied. I'm not too sure who's doing it. It does sound like Frank Welker because that's what Sarah thought.
I mean, I did joke. I jokingly said to you before, it sounds like Dr. Claw the later years, very much.
Yeah, I pretty much can do his voice.
Shadow,
my most perfect creation.
No, I mean, you can do it, but you can't hold it.
Oh, fuck no.
No. Anyway.
But yeah, goddamn, just that's the trailer even Dreadnoughts as well brought up the fact that this trailer and the hype for Generations has not been felt since the original Generations.
It really has been that long since.
It has been 13 years now.
More or less, yeah, because it was 2011 when Generations.
Yeah, it was Summer Sonic 2011. I remember luckily they had 4 units to play the Green Hill Act 2 demo.
Yeah, they did.
Because everyone got the free demo from Xbox and PlayStation to play that. Which surprised it took so damn long to download because it was a data pack for people to mine.
Oh, I mean, there's always people. Help, somebody's data mined already, which I'll bring up a bit later.
Yeah. Well, the trailer showcased Doom, showcased a lot of levels. The music is a remix of Radical Highway, which is surprising because Radical Highway was a stage in the 3DS version.
Because that's the key thing from this game is nothing from the 3DS game is going to be in here, which I know some people are kind of thinking, oh, would it be nice as like the ultimate, collection thing, but that's not.
I would have loved an ultimate collection. The thing is, you have to retool all the modern stages to work in 3D, not just strictly 2D.
That's what I'm saying, because obviously, like, the level designs of those are different from the main game ones we got. So,
On a side note, right now, I'm surprised that people don't call Sonic Generations 3DS Sonic Rush 4. It plays the same.
It might as well be to some fans.
It's not though. Because it's not Rush 3 either. So fucking drop it. I'm so sick of hearing that. One thing I'm surprised as well, they did something that I wanted when I suggested, even when they say, they're gonna have a modern era of 3 different eras. Here's the classic, here's the Dreamcast, and it'll be modern. And I suggested it'll be really great if you included Kingdom Valley in this. Like, it's Crisis City. After the data mined it, it turned out to be Crisis City. Look what's in the trailer now. Yeah. Kingdom Valley. You're welcome, Internet. I predicted this 13 years ago.
I mean, funny enough, we did get sort of a leak of some of the stuff the day before the trailer, but the fact that was one thing we didn't find out, which, surprised me. I guess on the one hand, remember when 06 came out, that was the level they showed off. That was the big, look at this amazing stuff we built, guys, tech demo, effectively. So now they're doing the Generations touch to it. It's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah, and I actually quite like Kingdom Valley in 06. It's not a perfect level, but I quite enjoy it.
I think for most people, it's the one that was definitely felt like this one feels complete compared to the other levels.
If you play the demo, yeah. Because that was more complete, minus the max stages and silver. And some Space Colony Arc, and it seemed to be a combination of Radical Highway and Westopolis. Because it kind of has that same kind of feel.
Yeah.
And it's definitely has, and with the gameplay that's been revealed as well, both off camera and in camera,
Yeah.
It seems to be the same cinematic focus like Forces had on occasions.
Yeah, although I do think they've sort of pushed it a bit more. I mean, that's something I will say that if anything, if they took anything from Forces in a good way, is having those like sort of cinematic qualities, but not have it just be button prompts all the time. So in this case, like, because again, when they first showed off this game and they teased it, was like the gimmick was okay, you play a level, then suddenly Black Doom comes in and you sort of Inception, Doctor Strange, kaleidoscopes you into another dimension type deal. And I actually thought when they first announced the game, I thought like, I bet this is going to be as long as people think it's going to be. Well, you know, you'd be one level after the other, and he'll sort of instead of Act 1, Act 2, you finish one Act 1, then switch into the next level and switch to the next thing. But it's like, no, it seems to happen in the middle now. So supposedly you will probably get more levels where we will start one level and then we'll inception into something else halfway through.
With Doctor Strange, yeah.
Yeah, literally Doctor Strange kaleidoscoping madness stuff.
Yeah, also the fact that, you know, as well, like the only other game I can think of, or the first game that actually did the seamless transition between a gameplay and cinematics and back to gameplay was Uncharted.
Oh yeah, they were trying to do that a lot, especially Uncharted 4. You know, there's a lot of that where they, you know, I mean, here's the funny thing, because a lot of the cinematics they were doing in the games, like for instance, there'll be sections where you squeeze through a cavern or you have to go under something or you have to hold up a pillar. That's normally a way for them to hide the loading for the level. So if this is their way of doing it, it's like, well, at least you made it stylish, guys. That's a good thing.
Yeah, or Metroid Prime, where you just lock a door for a few seconds.
that's the more telltale one where the door wouldn't open because it's like, nope, still loading, still loading. Okay, we're good.
Just once, just have the loading screen of 06 for Kingdom Valley.
Yeah, so
and Shadow just blast through it.
Yeah, so who knows? Maybe they might do a joke in there. Who knows?
Why not? Did it for Summer of Sonic Team, if you remember.
Exactly. Yeah, the other thing they're also putting in this game is that we're getting a hub world like Generations, but instead of being a 2D side-scrolling thing, it's going to be an open zone thing of all things, which is
that surprised me because when I first looked at it, I thought, is that Soliana? Because the architecture looks similar.
Yeah, it does.
But probably not. It should probably just, hey, this is what white space would look like if it had a bit more character.
I mean, it's probably going to be a fusion like in those. You see all the different areas put together. Maybe that's the gimmick, and they're all going to combine together into one area. When you finish a level, it brightens up and you bring more life to it type deal.
Yeah, because you see, like, there's a lot of areas in the screenshot I've seen where it seems to be like the purple time meter thing. So I'm guessing those are just locked off until later. Apparently, it's not only this is your hub for the stages, but also there's characters to talk to, and there's going to be other things to find. So this is a level within a level.
Yeah. Though the other thing I found out, because as we're recording this, there's been a few interviews with Takeshi Yukaza, and there's one on Sonic Stadium, there's one from another site, if I can remember. I might put it in the notes later on. But people did ask, I think from the Stadium one, they actually asked basically, how is this game running? And he's mentioned basically, Generous was built on the Hedgehog engine, an older version of it, and they've gone back and like, we've tweaked a bit of it. This one is running on the newer engine we're using, hence why we're doing the open zone thing. So effectively, it's both Hedgehog engines running in one game.
That seems kind of counterproductive because the actual multiple engines running will leave some conflicting notions.
I think the system is like, it's still using the same system that May Generations run, but they've been able to tweak it so it's in 60 frames and they've updated the textures and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's how it's working. It's still the same base.
The shadows are a lot better as well because the shadows in the original game didn't look pretty good. They look
good. I remember. Yeah, I do remember that. So we'll definitely see when we get our hands on it. Because again, the Sonic stuff that has been shown off, it just looks like Generations. Like, yeah, looks good. They haven't fiddled about with any of the art direction or anything. It's still the same game.
But they have altered the gameplay, which I have mixed thoughts about.
Well, I know the one thing they've done is they've changed the boost button. They've done.
Oh yeah, they've matched it to that of Frontiers, which
is
both good and bad. Good because people coming from Frontiers, especially newer and younger audiences,
the young people,
will actually just adapt instantly. That's good. I understand that. You don't want to change the muscle memory too much for newer audiences or those who have adapted quite quickly to the Frontier style of control.
Yeah.
The problem is that when I play Generations, I have the Generations mindset. Do you know how hard it is and how frustrating it was to play Sonic Unleashed and remember that the homing attack was a freaking X button?
Well, I'm going to say, because if you go from Unleashed Generations, like, oh yeah, they did switch it up, and even color switched up. It's like each of the games do switch up, like which one's meant to be the homing attack and the boost button. So
yeah. So not to mention, it included the drop dash as well, which for classic, fine. Honestly, I am tired of seeing the fucking thing now.
I mean, my only thing is that okay, that's cute, but it's like, isn't that just going to inherently break original generations there? Because
it will.
I was going to say, because that just feels like
here's the thing though. It's in front. Drop dash is in Frontiers, right? You double jump, you hold it, and you're going to spin dash. Yeah. I never once used it. The only time I used it was by accident because I was trying to do something else.
I actually did that by accident as well, because I read on the menu like how to do it, and I was trying to think, what do I do? What do I do? And I did it by accident, and I had no clue how to pull it off. Now I do it every now and again, but it's still like...
I don't do it. I only do it in the 2D games.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mania, like Superstars, and the Origins collection. That's the only time I used it. I know it's also in Bosses, but it's so badly implemented, I never bothered to use it.
Oh, I can remember
this one. I don't understand why would it add something retroactively to Generations, especially for 3D Sonic, which doesn't have a double jump. It has a homing attack.
Well, that's the thing, because they actually mentioned Shadow in his section actually does have a double jump in, so that's one of the key difference.
Yeah. So I think there's also been said that there is a legacy control style, so you can switch it back, which I
didn't read that yet. There's
which I'll probably do instantly, but I'll give the newer control style a shot.
Yeah,
but for me, it's just like A, jump and home attack, X boost, B, slide, Y is for light dash, the bumpers for the side step, and the triggers for the drifting. That's the muscle memory I have for Generations. I can't just switch it up because this is the new style from Frontiers.
Like I said, I mean, I've gotten used to this. That's the thing. Sometimes I actually went back and played Generations on a 360 after playing Frontiers a lot, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, I have to do it this way, that way. So even my muscle memory is like, just my memory alone, thinking, oh yeah, that, oh god.
So it's not only do you have to remember how they play the game, but the muscle memory of a different game.
Exactly. So there you go. But yeah, the other something I want to bring up is, so obviously the big thing with this being Generations, it's this and 4 was the beginning of the remember this with a twist thing, which I have said for the last few years.
It wasn't the start of the meta, but it was the start of...
I'm not even... I mean, I don't care what they fucking call it, but it's...
I know everyone calls it meta, but it's like, that's not accurate name. But
no, I mean, they do it because it says ha-ha jokes. Yeah, we're doing the funny thing. Ha-ha. That's basically what the meta stuff is meant to mean. But it's
more or less started with Sonic Lost World.
Well, I was going to say probably
Colors was fine. It was different at the time. Generation Celebration, Sonic 4, that was its own thing. At least Episode 2 tried to change it up, but then Lost World came out. I was like, hey, Lost World came out. I was like, hey, let's have Sonic turn to the camera a lot more.
Yeah, but regardless of the humor, it's more about the beginning of this is where they were just bringing stuff back to go, remember this, kids? Remember this? It's like, yeah, I know. I could just go and play the other game, guys. So, it's technically this is the game that started it all. So having it bring back...
These Generations doesn't rely on nostalgia. It's like the entire game, the point of it is nostalgia.
It is. But like I said,
it's the theme, not the crutch.
I know, but like I said, it's ironic that this is the game that arguably made that a big deal, and the later games unfortunately kept going on. Like, we have Frontiers and, all the cyberspace stuff. It's like, yeah, you just use the Generations assets, guys.
The only thing that proved to me is that you can actually recreate Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, speaking of Sonic Adventure, we'll talk about the pre-order thing, because depending on which edition you get, one of them is you get literally a Dreamcast Adventure skin for the game.
Yeah, all right, let's break it down. There are 3 versions of the game, okay? Not counting the other countries that get something, because Japan, again, gets the best freaking pre-order bonus.
It's weird because they've always... this is, all right, slight tangent here, but it's like they've always said Sonic's more popular in the Western world. Then why do the Japanese always get the best stuff? I mean, because it's made there, but it's always thinking, you can throw this out there, guys. Come on.
Incentive, really?
Yeah.
I will say this. At least Japanese version has a better box art, not just kind of retooling the original box art.
I mean, I will say that I'm surprised how they did it. They were able to take the 2 poses from the front box and made it actually work in a weird way. I know it's not the most original thing, but I'm surprised, like, that does work somehow. I mean,
it's better than Colors Ultimate.
Yes, it's better than that one.
What should you do for the background? Rainbows. I mean, we had production stills for that looked better.
Hmm.
But yeah, there are 3 versions of the game. We've got the standard digital release. Okay. We have the standard physical release, which costs just as much as the digital version at $50.
Yeah, you know where
It costs more to produce a physical version than it is to produce a digital version, but they cost exactly the same.
Yeah.
So what you're getting is it's a free case and artwork.
Yeah.
There is a digital deluxe version, and the deluxe version comes with. Actually, I'll say that for later. If you pre-order the physical version, you will get the Sonic Adventure Legacy skin, which is not the same model.
I did look at it. Yeah,
I compared it. It's
because I was looking at.
It's just as much polygons.
I know, but I mean, I did look at this because clearly this is a recreation of what it used to look like in the Dreamcast thing. And I will say they got, for the most part, right. I can tell it's not the original one, but it's like it's pretty on.
It's like the retro skin from Crash 4.
Yes, yeah, it is in the vein of it. It's not a 1-to-1, but it's near enough that
it's enough for it to move naturally in the game, but not enough to actually look like it's got to clip into itself.
This is the thing, because I'm curious how this is going to work. Because if this is I'm curious how this would work as a skin. Because will it just use all the base animation for, say, regular Sonic in Generations, or will they change it up a bit, like say how they did with Superstars, like the Lego skins, for instance? All the animations are different from there because they're minifigs. Like Tales of Flight, for instance, is different how regular Tales will fly. So I'd be curious to see if they've done anything special with that.
I saw like the fact when you jump, it's literally just 3 pieces of Lego.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If you're going to go to that extent, are you going to that extent with this guy? But we'll wait and see. The other thing I'll bring up is another friend of mine on Discord saw this, and she thought, because this got leaked out of the pre-order thing, she actually thought that's bullshit. They would never do that. It's not like Sega would ever do something I wanted for years, and saying, oh shit, they have.
There's also a Professor Gerald Robotnik's journal about the creation of the Arc and Shadow. And on the preview, someone found a high-res picture of it, and it is written as it was by hand.
Yeah, it's literally.
It talks about being on the island and then getting the funding for the Space Colony Arc. I want to know more because I have own theories and own backstories from Adventure 2 and Shadow about how this will go all together. Because with Black Doom here, it means Shadow is a canon event.
I was just going to say,
I think surprised a lot of people because people thought it would just be a non-canon event. It happened. Aliens invaded. People died.
I was just going to say, I mean, you could definitely tell Ian Flynn's been busy probably with this. But also, again, actually, if you go on the website, you can sort of, I'll open tab this thing, and you can actually look in one of the pages. It actually just talk about how the arc and stuff. And one bit I read it actually says, I have my concerns. I'm a genius, so I'm sure I'll figure something out when it comes. So it's like, wow, even back then, Eggman's grandfather was an egomaniac even then. So
yeah, but he had his own morals. He had his own. He had his own goal, but how to do it was different. Yeah,
he was equally egotistical, but he was humble about it. I think that's the difference.
Yeah, I think Maria kept him in check a lot.
Yes. I just like that little detail. That was just a cute little detail in there.
So obviously I pre-ordered the physical version because I want that damn book. But the digital deluxe version, which is $10 more, so $60, which again, this is how you do a collection of games. It's like you don't pull it full price. When the last one was about $40, now they've switched it all the way to $70 for some reason for big sale games. So for $6, you get some new background music, an additional level, which is surprising, and the new Shadow skin, which is Terios, the concept art for Shadow.
Yes,
which I'm surprised out of all the concept arts, they chose the most popular one that's been recreated.
Yeah, well, put it this way: if you were new to this, if you came into this game being a new Sonic fan and you saw this on the page, you probably, whose DeviantArt OC is that? It's like, yeah, that's Shadow's original design, guys. It's like, oh,
yeah. Someone said it's a deep cut of Sonic knowledge to actually know who the hell Terios even is.
To know what this, like I said, looks like a DeviantArt OC character. It's like, yeah, that's what they literally started off with.
Yeah, this is what it looked. This is what it looked like. He was going to, and this is why everyone's questioning how the hell you confuse Sonic for Shadow? It's like look completely different.
Well, this guy,
because Shadow was originally going to look like a dark version of Sonic.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, actually, I'm just looking at the image right now. Actually, I've just noticed he's actually got a bit of pecs on his.
Oh yeah, he is built. He has scars. He ha
Oh, oh God.
it is not it's not a Sonic character you would think of. It's like
No.
that's the kind of chest you would give Sonic if he goes Ultra Instinct.
This is what people think when
Yeah.
you think of how do you make these characters buff, and it's like, yeah, it's weird when you put it on these bodies.
Yeah, additional level in Skip a Shadow. Skill points. I'm pretty sure that's the skill buy-in shop coming back.
Yeah, there's even a little
BGM and digital art book and OST. Can I just put a little thing here because I'm sick, I'm tired of seeing it.
Yeah,
Would every developer please fuck off with the digital only art books and soundtracks? Okay, if I want an art book, I will freaking buy one. I'm tired of having to look at your art and listen to your music via a video game console. I have a bookshelf to put books on. If I want to listen to some music, I would gladly download it from your reputable server onto my freaking laptop and listen to it then. I should not have to listen to it via a console. That's why I was so pissed at the Mario 3D All-Stars having a soundtrack option. Why the hell turn your console into a fucking jukebox?
Which is kind of weird because in Generations, you can actually change the background music in the levels. That's something you can do in the game.
Yeah, it says extra background music pack. So I'm guessing that'll allow you to listen to. I'm guessing Generations and Shadow Generations will have separate background music with this extra music, and you can actually swap them. So you want to listen to Westopolis in fucking Green Hill? Go ahead.
Well, I remember doing what was it? It was Seaside Hill from Heroes, and I put on Sonic 4's opening level tracking just for shits and giggles.
Splash Hill, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So I did that for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I still stand by listening to Kingdom Valley on Aurora's Island is fantastic in Frontiers.
Is that right? But yeah, one thing I was going to bring up, but actually there's something I want to bring up. So yeah, this whole alternate deluxe version, as you said, there's a fucking chat out there, which, let's be fair, you're in sort of a, oh great, we got to that level now, have we?
Yeah.
Type deal.
You get your pre-order. If you pre-order the physical, you get the Sonic Adventure skin and
Robotnik Journal.
And a journal. You pre-order the digital deluxe edition, you get the Adventure skin and the Terios DLC pack.
Yeah.
If you just buy standard, you get standard. You just get standard digital. You just get the Sonic Adventure skin.
Yeah, you
do.
So
it's a more concise look than any Ubisoft game out there.
Probably.
But goddamn.
Yeah. The one thing I want to bring up is because for the last few years they've been doing this type of thing with some of their games, and particularly.
Superstars from last year.
Yeah.
Superstars from last year, it had a digital deluxe version as well as a physical one. The physical one only came with an acrylic stand. I have one because I bought mine from Walmart. I'm surprised they even gave me the acrylic stand.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but for a digital, they have the digital deluxe upgrade, and they sold that separately. And with that, if I can just bring it up really fast.
Well, like I said, with the Superstars, it was like you get the Mecha Sonic thing for like the Avatar robot. You get obviously the Lego mini skins. You get I think some alternate.
The Lego Fun Pack, which is Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, because the Lego Sonic was free.
That was free.
The Sonic Rabbit skin, which I call Feel the Rabbit. I'm pretty sure it's called the Lucky Rabbit or something.
Actually, here's quickly the reason why the Tails thing even exists is apparently when they did that, it was Oshima-san wanted to do the rabbit for Superstars, and they just thought, well, why don't we do it for Generations and we just use Shadow's prototype thing? So that's where
the next one be a Blaze included one, so we get her prototype skin. The Black Flame Cat. Mech parts for the battle mode, which is all Robo Sonic. I don't care if it's Robot Sonic or Mecha Sonic or Metal Sonic. You can't have the same name for 3 different fucking robots, okay? There is Silver Sonic, Robo Sonic, Mecha Sonic, Metal Sonic. Only 4 Robot Sonics in the games. That's my other pet peeve. Bonus main menu wallpapers and a digital art pack and soundtrack. Fuck off.
Yeah. The problem is
$15 for that upgrade. $15. $5 more than what it would have cost you to buy the digital deluxe version on release. At least you can actually buy the DLC separately once it's released. This one says it's released for Generations, is releasing for holiday season of 2024.
Yeah,
so there's a couple of months.
Yeah, but the fact is they're locking behind a level that probably should be in the game, and I'm just saying like this whole thing here, like locking content away a paywall, which is like, no, guys,
Yeah,
you
no
really
one likes it. It's probably just as worse, if not worse, than paying for Supersonic Enforcers.
yeah, because didn't they make that? Well, they did that. You had to pay for it, and then didn't they make it free after a while?
Oh, they plan to pay for it for like $3.
Mm.
They plan to. So it's like it's already locked behind in the game. Like,
Yeah,
on this DLC is already bullshit thing anyway.
yeah,
But it's like it's already on the game. People have already found and data mined it. Why the hell are you really trying to charge people $3 to have access to something that should be a standard feature in the game anyway?
mm. Yeah. So they
So the
did
fact
it.
they're doing this at an extra level is
That
is worse.
that is quite scummy, and especially given because something else has been pointing out. Even though this game's like out, people have been data mining stuff in there, and there's supposedly going to be different skins that are going to be in this
Oh yeah,
game.
it's gonna be apparently the term Miller keeps getting brought up a lot during that
Yeah,
leak. That was
yeah,
a where is it? That was a a project name for it.
yeah,
So Miller was the code name Miller can be found when searching for the publisher Sega America. It
yeah,
was a nickname for Shadow Generations.
yeah.
So I'm not sure what audience is, but we have a skin for modern, skin for classic, and retro skin for modern. So the
Yeah,
retro skin for modern is obviously Sonic Adventure,
yeah.
and we also a classic retro skin for classic.
I'm going to say because we already got classic Sonic Generation style. So where are you going to go with this, guys?
Saturn Sonic.
I did see you put that up.
I want that chubby little spiky headed dude in Generations.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, one thing before we move on again is like I want to keep on with this whole thing because I briefly mentioned this. Is like this got announced as also while this is going on. There's a new Super Monkey Ball that's got announced as well, and that's also got like you can actually get the superstar characters in there as like characters to play with. But the other thing I've recently saw in that is that they're having something what's called Sega Pass, which is already I'm going, oh god, no, which feels like it's going to be one of those seasonal things that are tricked out, and I'm just worried, thinking, is this what you're going to do for this game as well? Is this going to be a thing where we have to wait for content to come out and we have to pay for it, we have to grind for it? I'm just thinking, oh god, no, please, that type of stuff, because this is what worries me, because from what we've seen of Shadow Generation, which I will say I didn't expect it to be the way it is now, because I generally thought the Shadow section would be like runtime, it could be 3 hours long, but I didn't expect it to be, have its own unique.
The main game itself of Generations is 3 hours long. I expect this to last maybe an hour.
Yeah. So I expected that, but I didn't expect them to have their own like hub world. I didn't expect them to really go, particularly some of the other levels. They got a level.
So you're getting 2.5 to maybe 2 games full.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a bit surprised of how much more they're putting into the Shadow segment than I expected, particularly from how it's presented, how it's shown off. But again, it's like from the look of it, it's like this will be a decent game because people play Generations, and I'm pretty sure they haven't fucked up anything else in the game. I'm hoping nothing's been changed elsewhere in Generations to mess up. Although one thing I found out apparently that they've taken away the Sonic 1 bonus that's in the game.
Yeah. On the one hand, makes sense. It's not a celebration of a game like Generation was back on the 20th anniversary.
Yeah, but
this is like with Zelda Skyward Sword. With Skyward Sword originally, it was celebrating 25 years of Zelda. When the HD version came out, they removed any reference to it.
Yeah, but still, it's kind of like it's like an little extra you can get in the game. Why are you not putting in it? You're taking something that was, a part of the game originally, and it's not going to be there anymore.
By Origins, I guess.
Yeah, probably. But yeah. But like I said, this whole thing about this, like, how these different editions of how these are getting paid out, and like I said, what they're doing with Super Monkey Ball, it's like I am worried that there's going to be some really bad shit coming, by the time this game comes out.
Yeah, the Sega Pass saying like for Monkey Ball is like the Sega Pass available in the game, the deluxe version. The pass promises 6 total characters and some costumes. It's like, so what you're doing is basically charging money to unlock something, or at least bypass something. Because if the characters are still available in game for purchase, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to say if they're in the game, but you just need to like play. Obviously, if you play it, you can get it. I mean, that's understandable, unless you make it absurdly grindy, where it's like you have to spend 20 hours doing one thing where you can just reuse your money to actually get the thing. It's like, well, no.
It was easier to get the coins necessary in Banana Mania than it was to get coins in CTR.
That's true. Oh god, I remember that whole thing.
Yeah, when the hell are they going to release an entire DLC pack of all the characters?
And the other thing as well I should bring up is also that, while this is all going on, the other two things people have brought up is, again, we don't know whether this is going to delist the original game, because as of recording this, the original game is still available on Steam as of now, but we don't know if they're going to get rid of that soon. So keep your eyes on that. And also for PC, this is going to have de novo, i.e., everyone's favorite copyright protection thing that just fucks the game up over. So, we have to do all that bollocks for PC players.
Yeah, if it's just basically a tweaked version of the original Hedgehog engine, I don't think it'd be that much of a difference. I think it might be able to just port over all their stuff, and with the Hedgehog engine 2, and people have already modded and retroactively able to actually mod Sonic Forces on PC. I don't think that much of a tonal shift. It's just the fear of delisting an already original game from a service that, let's face it, still has a very strong community.
Exactly. I mean, the key thing I remember was it Project Unleashed, which is like, hey, let's take Unleashed's level and put it in Generations. That was like just a nice little thing fan communities did. So it's just kind of like, if you get rid of that, and let's be fair, Sega are the one people have generally been the people of like, we're not Rockstar, we're not Nintendo, we're just going to put cease and desist if you start messing around with the games. It's like, all right, we'll let you go as long as you don't charge money on it. That's kind of their attitude. So again, the takeaway is this is like, from what we've seen in the game, it looks good. I'm interested to see what they mix up for Shadow stuff. It's just, as I said, I'm worried about all the actual, they do all this amazing stuff and they sneak off and do some bullshit when nobody's looking type deal.
Yeah. So, but yeah, other than that, this game is going to be just as big as the original game. And the original game was just a monumental milestone for the franchise.
I will say this, like, it was the first time in a while where I talked to people about, you play Sonic the Hedgehog? And I remember saying, I played Generation. Yeah, it was really good. It was actually nice to see people enjoying Sonic the Hedgehog again, rather than bitch to death about it, which that happens quite a lot over the years.
Yeah, here's the thing, though, because I saw a tweet of Sonic Symphony, and when Sonic Unleashed part came up, the entire audience said, "Ready, go!" Everyone laughed about it.
I definitely know they laughed at the. I know they laughed for the Game Gear thing where they showed off the end screen for, was it Sonic and Tails 2, which is meant to be the Tails' death or something in that game.
Yeah. And someone quote tweeted saying, "Why is the Sonic community the only community where there's completely different from online to real life?" And that's because the online version of the community is such a very loud minority. It completely drowns out the actual genuine fans out there like you and me. Because I talk about Sonic online, I do the exact same I would do in real life.
Like I said, I mean,
because that's the one thing that surprised me when it came to Summer of Sonic. I was meeting other fans.
Exactly.
It was such a genuine love for the franchise in real life compared to online saying Sonic 06 sucks. Here's 10 reasons why I can't stop talking about it.
Yeah, ha ha ha. They all like it because they want to have sex with a stupid cat character. Ha 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 ha. It's just like, oh god.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So at least with Summer of Sonic, and I still remember this. I still remember this from the last one we went. Well, the last one I went was, I remember you because I was there, and it was just as Crush Volley was going on, and I just said to him, "This is great, isn't it?" And he just nodded and said, "Yeah, it is. It is great."
Yeah. So I cannot wait until October 25th, which is the release date for the game. Apparently, if you pre-order it digitally, though, you can get it for 3 days early.
Yeah, again.
So congratulations, Sega. You're beating everyone to the punch. Also, congratulations. You're still letting people spoil the damn game.
It's just hopefully that's not going to ruin the fun for us. That's the main thing. Just let's hope both the internet and business practice doesn't ruin the fun for us.
Anyway, moving away from Sonic, which is pretty hard. Xbox had its own showcase, and we'll come back when Nintendo and Sony have their own showcases as well. But Xbox had theirs, Ubisoft had theirs, but we don't give a shit about them unless it's Prince of Persia
or Rayman.
I want a Rayman collection. I want a Rayman collection with the first 3 games and everything in between.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice little thing.
Maybe Origins. I'm not too sure of Legends.
I mean, Legends has been ported. Legends has become like 2, where it's been ported to every machine that's got a microchip now. So it's like.
So 1, 2, 3, the GBA Husband's Revenge, all 4 versions of Rayman 2. That's the
I mean, that's
the PS1, the N64, the Dreamcast, and Rayman Revolution.
Yeah, so that alone.
Also Rayman M, or was it called Rayman Arena? Not too sure.
Rayman M or Rayman Arena, was it in one country?
Yeah. And Rayman Origins. Have all those in one collection. I will pay you $60 full cash for that, Ubisoft. Give us that collection.
And if you do an actual Rayman statue with that limbless guy, I would gladly buy that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Xbox had a pretty strong showing of games, surprisingly. Before we move on, I forgot some of Game Fest trailer as well that I need to talk about is Power Rangers is getting a game.
Yeah, I thought that would be up your alley.
Yeah. It's like all of a sudden it's like, hell, here is Power Rangers. Oh, okay. The cutscenes look pretty much motion comic. Fair enough. I can deal with that. But gameplay wise, looks like the Turtle Shredder's Revenge game.
It's basically you want a Power Ranger version of that game. Here you go.
Yeah. But it also has some driving sections and a first-person Megazord battle.
Yeah, I saw that. That was interesting.
Power Rangers Rewind, which basically looks like a what-if scenario if from Once and Always, Rita actually went back in time to her past self. Well, Robo-Rita, anyway.
Yeah, Robo-Rita again. She's getting a comeback again.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this game. So far, it seems to be Steam only, but I guarantee there will be Switch and Xbox ports in the future.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my fanboy out of the way. I'm just looking for that's the other game I'm looking forward to for the Summer Games Fest.
Okay, all right. So I guess for me, I might as well get mine now because for me, the game I'm looking forward to, which I was both expecting and yet didn't expect at the same time, was the next Doom game known as Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah, what the hell? I haven't even finished the first Doom yet. I got to a point when I'm facing the giant meatball demons a lot. I'm not sure how far I was in it. Every time I play it now, I just think because of when I was playing it, Sarah had on the background Megamind, so every time I play it now, I just think of the Megamind.
Just floating brains everywhere.
Yeah. So I don't. That's on the PS4 though. I have not touched the Xbox version because I swapped the versions out. Right. So I need to restart the entire game. I also have Doom Eternal. I have not got the DLC for that yet, so there's no point in me buying it.
All right, you've got a lot of way to go, man, because both that game, Eternal, and the Ancient Gods. There's a lot of because this game basically, in a nutshell, Dark Ages is a prequel. So you're going to see the Slayer during the time of in the first game, Doom 2016 or Doom 4, because I rather call it Doom 4. When you touch the Slayer Testament, it has the whole in the first sage and the first land where the shadows first lengthen. It's that whole thing. It's all those testaments. You're playing through those moments now.
Yeah, it's like what's the difference between a Doomslayer and Doomslayer Medieval? Doomslayer Medieval actually has a chainsaw shield.
Yeah, so this is interesting. So yeah, it's a prequel set during the war with Hell, with Urdak and the Slayer. In fact, what I've already hit a few interviews with this, and the attitude supposed to be is in Eternal, you basically move like an F-22 fighter jet. In this game, you move like an Abrams tank. So you're probably going to be slower, but you're going to pack one hell of a punch.
Well, considering the fact you could actually throw a damn shield, you can still jolt forward. It just it's like that trailer was never ending action. It's just like if this is all in the game, you have got another Game of the Year contender on your hands there, Ed.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's funny because, like I said, I did hear before this there was all these rumors going around that they're going to make maybe like a prequel game called Doom Year Zero or something like that. And for ages, like, wasn't really sure how would you do it. And I think there were rumors going around like, you probably play someone else. But it's like, well, why would you play a Doom game if you're not the Doom guy Slayer? It's kind of like I can't see how that works. It's not like Halo where you can play as like ODST or Reach where you play as other characters. It doesn't really work that way. But yeah, the fact that this is now just a full-on prequel game set during the war with Hell in medieval with sci-fi stuff in it, because let's be fair, it's still, like I said, you got a shield, but it's got buzzsaws on it. You can frisbee at things and come back. So it's like, yeah, there's still tech involved.
Yeah.
Also, there seems to be a great emphasis on melee combat because there's a bit where you also the Slayer has a flare, like the chain with a chain with spikes on. That's what I meant. And it just seemed like there's also you can have parry enemies, which is something you can do in the previous games. Like you can sort of stun. Like in the game, there was Grawler kills, which you can hurt the enemies to the point where they flash, and you could just do a 1-2 punch finishing animation. And in this game, it seems that's possibly the new way of doing it. That you can parry enemies, stun them, then you can finish them off somehow. But also, no, you got away. In fact, one thing that surprised me is that not only could you use a flare, you could also use your foot. So the Slayer is going full Duke Nukem at this point now. You can use the almighty foot.
Before you go on full fanboy with Doom, because I know you've been playing that for like maybe 3 years straight now.
I mean, given that game came out during the year when the world stopped, I mean, it got me through a lot, that game, Eternal.
Yeah. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero finally has a release date, and this is like Budokai Tenkaichi 4, so that'd be a big deal. The game called Scroll with a Gun. It looks just as daft as Goat Simulator, but a little less glitchy. Apparently, you can actually fly in the air by actually using a machine gun facing downwards. So basically, if you played Cave Story, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
More Fallout 76. Metal Gear Solid Delta got a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, this is something.
First of all, it looks fantastic. Slight change of character design and some lighting aspects, but it looks like a completely different game, but it's still snakier.
Yeah.
So much so, it's still David Hayter.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're just probably going to reuse the same voices because
that's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah.
But apparently, they actually had David Hayter to showcase host some videos called the Metal Gear Solid Legacy.
Like history of Metal Gear thing, yeah.
So either they re-recorded all the lines to actually more higher fidelity, even got the original voice actors in, or they reused the HD versions, or at least the Master Collection versions of the game.
I assume that. Yeah, I assume. We'll put it this way. You know, when they did the going slightly medieval remake, you know, they basically used all the voice lines from the PS1 game, but they re-recorded the narrator and Daniel Fortescue because, you know, it's probably better to record a guy with a bucket in his head with a pencil in his mouth at high fidelity than a PS1 game.
Oh yeah.
So it's probably going that direction. Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah, you can't replace Zavak's voice. You just can't.
Well, no, that's what they did, which was really nice.
Apparently, there's a new Fable game coming out.
I heard of
Fable.
Yeah, just Fable.
Is it a remake or is it a sequel?
I don't know at this point. I mean, I might as well just start again.
This surprised me. Perfect Dark's coming back.
Yes, I remember. In fact, I remember they announced this. I swear to God, maybe like 2018, 19. There was like a teaser trailer for it, and I had nothing for ages. And now they actually showed up. Is the game? Oh, Crystal Dynamics are involved. That's cool. It's nice to actually gotten some work.
Which who? Sorry.
Crystal Dynamics. You know, the people that made the Tomb Raider games.
Oh yeah.
You know,
which is weird considering it's a Rare game.
It is. Well, that's the thing with Rare. It's like it's owned by Rare, but you know they've been letting other developers work on their stuff. You know, like
Rare is now Platonic, so
yeah. Well, the people who made Banjo-Kazooie have made basically their own. You know, the people who used to work at Rare went off and did their own off-branded Banjo-Kazooie ukulele, which we're getting a remake. Ukulele.
Ukulele.
Replay.
I want. I actually do want because the original game was just a boring mess. I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean,
you have this legacy of developers. You just go, ring challenges.
I mean, he is very much saying if you want Banjo-Kazooie the way it was back then, it's like here it is in its purest form, even with the bullshit. It's like, okay.
Yeah, but when the entire problems of the game can be laid down to one single quill hidden behind a wall that you would never think to go behind, that is a problem. So apparently, Replay is going to be completely retooled with new challenges and new
cameras redone. Yeah, the camera's redone. I'm not sure about the texture on Laylee, if I'm perfectly honest. I mean, it's particularly because in that trailer they actually showed the talking heads, which I swear was taken from the original game. So you got this like, oh, they got no textures and stuff, and you just seen the old rendered heads talking. It's like,
it's still early days.
Probably.
But, yeah, the Perfect Dark one is like Joanna looks completely different because I am too used to original and her Zero look. See, I think it's the same voice actor as well. It sounds so identical.
Yeah, I mean, I think if this is a reboot anyway, they are just retooling it, which I will say from the look of it, it looks like a cross between, imagine doing a 007 game, which is what Perfect Dark kind of is, along with like a sort of Deus Ex sort of put into there. That seems to be the vibe they're going with.
Yeah, the last Bond game I played was 007 Legends, and like when you just walk in and everyone's shooting at you, it's like, I wanted a Bond game, not Call of Duty.
Yeah, but there is apparently a new Bond game in the works from the Hitman team at some point, so that's gonna be interesting.
That'll be good. Apparently, there's a new Indiana Jones game coming out, The Great Circle.
Yeah, Staff Kings. Yeah. Oh no, sorry.
No, Staff of Kings was a Wii game all the way back to 2008. Keep up.
shit. Sorry, so long ago. Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, the actual new game, Circle. Yeah, the great circle thingy.
Yeah, I haven't really. I just graphically it looks pretty good. Like it's taking place just after Raiders, or at least around.
It's effectively the real integral, whereas Temple of Doom takes place before Raiders. This takes place, this is taking place after Raiders, but before Crusade. So it's basically the middle. What adventure did Indy get up to before movie 3?
Yeah, bunch of Elden Ring stuff. Visions of Mana, which is a new Mana game from Square. But what surprised me, and it surprised quite a lot of people on the Discord I'm in, is we're getting a new Gears of War game that is literally called Gears of War, not just Gears. I don't know why they did that for the 5th game. I really don't.
I don't know. Maybe they just thought
it's a prequel, Gears of War E-Day.
I guess it means something, doesn't it?
Emergence Day. I don't know. End Day.
Activation Day.
In the story of Gears of War, like Gears starts with Phoenix in prison. Like he did something. So he got out just to hell with the Locust.
Yeah.
This is taking place before that. So apparently saying something like Marcus pulled the trigger. So he did something. So we're going to see what Marcus did. And it's really, really emotional to see Dom again. Marcus's brother.
Okay.
And it's playing a piano version of Mad World. Do you have any idea how emotional it is to see a character you have seen die on screen? And that's not a spoiler because the game came out in 2010, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, it's, people know what happens, yeah.
Oh, after Gears of War 2, at the end of Gears of War 2, and halfway through Gears 3, you're going to root for Dom. I'm actually looking forward to this because I haven't played Gears 4 or 5 or Judgment, but I heard Judgment's the freaking worst of the series. But having a prequel to Gears 1, I'm actually looking forward to that. I actually quite enjoy the Gears trilogy.
All right. Well, sticking with prequels again, back to Doom: The Dark Ages. Like I said, as you said, there's non-stop action in that game. One thing that did surprise me, and I'm kind of glad they're actually doing it this time, is you're going to pilot one of the giant mechs. Because in Eternal, you see these giant,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about the giant mech battle.
Yeah, because here's the thing. In Eternal, you see these giant mechs, and funny enough, the guy who's directing the game actually works on Pacific Rim, so he knows how to do giant mechs, this guy. So, and throughout the game, you kind of get the sense of thinking, I bet we get to control one of them, and you never do. Not even in the DLC games you do. You get to see them in action, but you never get to control one. So this one's like, okay, you get to fucking control one. I don't know how much you get to do, like how much control, if it's going to be like Rock and Soft and Robots, but with giant demons. It's like, fuck it, you get to control one of the bastards now. I'm just happy with that. You also get to ride in the back of a dragon, because, again, that was in the Ancient Gods Part 2 for a cutscene, but you now got a whole, basically Panzer Dragoon, but in Doom, from the look of it. And, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they have said, the way this game's going to be done is, and they're purposely going to change things up, because, A, they want each game to stand on their own, and B, they went back and replayed the original Doom game again, and one thing they said they haven't really got down properly in the last 2 games was and something I've noticed is that when you play the original Doom games, you do a lot of you're sort of skirmishing, the imps were for fireballs and they would just come directly at you. So you have to do a lot of you're sidestepping a lot. You're sort of moving, sidestepping away. So that seems to be the idea for the game, that the projectiles are going to be slower, but they're going to hit more at you if you don't get out of the way. So, and again, they keep using the terms, it's going to be a gritty game. It's going to be very gritty, which it's weird. I haven't heard that phrase used for ages. It's normally just used to literally, what are you going to do? Throw mud in my face? Yeah, pretty much. That's the gimmick. But yeah, I'm surprised they're doing this. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, given this is a prequel game, because if you played because during the 2016 game, it's Doom 4, is you do get the whole thing of basically, how did the Slayer get in that cabinet at the beginning of the game? It's they just basically dropped a building on top of him. So I'm surprised if you see that in the game. It ends with them putting a trap for the Slayer so they can put him in the sarcophagus, hence the whole, I guess, now trilogy of games now. Because technically, if you think about it, if Doom 4 is, and I know Hugo Martin will like this because he's a Star Wars fan, is you could look at these games as Doom 4 is A New Hope, Eternal is Empire Strikes Back, and the Ancient Gods Part 1 and 2 are the Return of the Jedi, because it sort of wraps up the story. So I guess with this now, this is going to be either, I guess, the Clone Wars or Revenge of the Sith of Doom, I guess.
Yeah, Revenge of the Sith, I guess.
Probably. I mean, I say Clone Wars because you're going to have armies with you or like in the background and stuff. So, that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. The only thing that it's the other surprising thing is that they have said this game is, well, because it is owned by Bethesda and also owned by Microsoft, is like obviously it's going to come out on Xbox first, Game Pass, all that stuff. But they did say that it's coming on that Steam and also PS5. So presumably, if I was to get a PS5, that'd probably be the game I would definitely get for it. That's be day one.
Like we were saying earlier, this is the kind of right about the time now that everyone should at least, if into gaming, should at least have a PS5 or Series X. I lean towards getting a PS5. A Series X is just basically, hey, I can play more games and I can play my backwards library of Xbox One titles, making my Xbox One S obsolete.
Yeah, I mean, it's depending because obviously they're now putting a lot of the stuff on PC these days. I mean, it's weird to see something like The Last of Us and Uncharted on PCs, what is meant to be PlayStation exclusive now on PC for players to play around
Yeah,
with.
but no Bloodborne, no.
No.
Everyone wants that right now. Everyone wants a Bloodborne PC port, but they're not giving it.
All right. But before we end, actually, one thing, so we talked all the stuff about from Microsoft and things and the Summer Game Fest. I want to bring this up interesting. So when I saw the trailer for The Dark Ages, I went on the stream to a guy named Under the Mayo, who's done a lot of Doom coverage over the years. So he really knows his stuff. And he was doing a stream of the Ancient Gods Part 1, and it was just there to see what it is. And I actually asked in the chat for people, I literally said, are any of you guys worried that, when this game comes out, it might be shut down? Because as much as there's been like, oh, Microsoft's got a good lineup, it's like, yeah, but they did shut down 2 studios not too long ago for seemingly no reason.
Probably a profit thing because, the CEO needs a freaking bonus.
I know, but again, this is something we haven't brought up, is like, obviously the big thing was like, both Arcane Studios and Tango Games got shut down. These are the makers behind, Dishonored, Prey, and Evil Within and Hi-Fi Rush, which has like been the big breakout for them.
Oh, Hi-Fi Rush! I need to finish that.
Yeah, that
is a fantastic, quirky hack and slash game.
I know, it's basically, imagine Jet Set Radio, Devil May Cry, Guitar Hero shoved into one. That's kind of the best way to describe it.
From developers of the Evil Within.
I know, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's what made it so amazing that, hey, these guys made this amazing, quirky, unique game. Came out, it was shadow dropped, wasn't it? It was like, it came out with no advertisement, but it was just
yeah.
So it was a big deal. And like I said, afterwards, it's like, oh, that's great. Now fuck off. That's basically what's happened to them. It's like, yeah, get out, you're sacked. So, and again, of all people, Jim Stephanie Sterling has talked about this, done a video on this, the whole thing. It's like, seemingly now, it's like, it doesn't matter if you make a profit, not even if a game's like, breaks even or anything. It's like, they could just shut you down now. And that's what worries me, is like, you think about it, Microsoft owns it. This is the people who've made Doom, Wolfenstein. They literally have their own tech engine, for God's sakes, that could do amazing things. And this is the back of my head is like, what if that happens to them? What if by the time Dark Ages comes out, and they decided, yeah, we don't need you guys anymore? Because they're actually, comparatively, they're not a big team, actually. It is not big. They're only like around about 80 people, which is not big compared to other studios out there. And one of the reasons why a lot of layoffs have been happening is because, people end up having too many people on staff. There's not enough work for them to do, and you get layoffs. And then you just keep hearing these stories. Too many people have been getting jobs and then not knowing what to do it afterwards, or then other positions get taken out or replaced. It's just all this madness has been going on the last few years. So it's just been really disheartening to hear this stuff going on again. And that's my biggest worry, especially with this.
Either they can break away like Toys for Bob did and go independent, or they'll make a new studio months later.
That is true. I mean, I will say that's the weirdest thing of all is the Toys for Bob, because everybody thought they were getting the site. I was thinking, oh no, they're shutting the studio down. And it's like, no, we're just going independent. We just don't need the studio anymore. And so the attitude is like, oh, so they could still make Crash 5, Spyro 4 if they're doing. And I believe they've done a deal. Weirdly enough, they broke away from Activision, but they've done a deal with Microsoft. So they may be doing that soon. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I said, with all this, like, again, all this, like, oh, look at these amazing stuff. It's like in the back of my brain, it's like, yeah, I haven't got what happened, guys. Don't think this is forgiving what you've done.
No. I think that's long enough for this episode.
Yeah.
We'll be back when Nintendo drops their last minute reveal like with Tears of the Kingdom 4 years ago.
I mean, if it's Metroid Prime 4 for real this time, that'll be something.
Or a new Star Fox game.
That'll be something as well.